Hey, everybody. Sorry, I'm running a little bit late. I was running a little bit behind because I forgot to actually push the stream button. If you're watching this, hopefully you are watching us for the 90-minute vacation. So what does that mean? Well, several times a week, I'm a healer by trade, a physical healer. I help people heal their bodies by working with their nervous systems and working with their brain. And when you work with that stuff, it also works with your emotions. It works with trauma. It works with your reactions, your stress. It's pretty amazing. And when we start to pay attention to things, when we start to recognize that we're walking around out of balance all the time, and the way to heal ourselves is to keep bringing ourselves back into balance, it begs the question, how do we do that? And there's a physical way you can do that, which is what I ask you to do as often as possible. Because when you do this, when you make this a practice, what happens is you start releasing the stress chemicals which are in your brain. And so you'll notice physical differences, less inflammation, less pain. Maybe you'll cry. Your nervous system will be able to stay calm. All sorts of things will happen. So when you do this with me, you're able to physically heal your body. You're able to physically heal your mind and your emotions, and your life starts to get better because you've been living most of your life probably dysregulated, which means that your brain is more like a lightning storm than it is a Tchaikovsky symphony. And it's supposed to work like a Tchaikovsky symphony. It's supposed to work like a symphony. It's not supposed to work like a lightning storm. And so when we change it from lightning storm to symphony, what happens is we change, literally, physically. Not all, but your health conditions start to clear up, the ones you've had since you were a kid. You stop reacting to things. You start forward thinking and thinking ahead. You start making better decisions. You start living your life better, really overall. This is how people go from stuck to prosperous. Is because we do this. So if you do this with me tonight, and as often as you can, watch this as often as possible. If you do this, you will guaranteed heal, because healing isn't something that people don't understand anymore. Healing is something that we understand how it works, why it works. It's repeatable. You can follow a pattern. I can explain the science to you. We can do it for anybody and everybody. It's something that we can start healing ourselves. So it's important to me to get this information out to as big of a population as we can. Because when we start going from being overwhelmed and dysregulated all the time, that lightning storm, and when we start going into the symphony, honestly, magical things happen. It's pretty crazy. And so is it worth 90 minutes of your time? It certainly is worth 90 minutes of your time. So if you're comfortable, if your things are set, we're going to go to share screen. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. Share computer sound. All you have to do, put your headphones on and listen. Follow along with what I do. Stay comfortable. If you fall asleep, that's perfectly fine too. That's not a problem. And because you're still getting your body regulated just by hanging out with us and listening to the music, okay? So here we go. Turn it down just a little bit. Get comfortable. I am. And I want you to start feeling for your root chakra. That's going to be between your perineum. It's right down there. You know where it is. And so what we're going to do is, I want you to feel for maybe an extra bundle of nerves. And I want you to feel for a little bit higher sensitivity or a difference. Right now we're just greeting, like we're greeting the day. We're greeting the different energy centers in our body, which the energy centers are, they're glands and organs. That's where they're housed. And in these glands and organs, in these spaces, there's bundles of nerves that send and receive. They're like antennas, and they each have their own job. So feel for that. Feel for something different in your root chakra. Feel for something more sensitive. You may see in your mind's eye, maybe you go through your body as if you were looking at it. Maybe you see a place that might be glowing or pulsing in some way. So if you're doing it visually, maybe when you get your consciousness and your awareness close to the spot, maybe when you do that, your shoulders relax. Or maybe you're reminded of your grandmother. Something. Feel around with your consciousness, around where your root chakra would be. Or something that gives your intuition a little tug. Okay? Now let's go up to your hara. Your hara is around your belly button. And feel for something that has some edges to it. Feel for something that might pulse or be warm or glow. Even if you think it's your imagination. Because what do you think is informing your imagination? Just your brain? What informs your imagination is your intuition. And your intuition is made up of your head brain and your heart brain and your gut brain, all working together. All informing your imagination. So feel around your belly button. See, smell, taste, touch. Notice something that just feels important. Okay? Good. Now move up to your abdomen. Now your diaphragm is where emotions go to rest. They go where emotions, that's where emotions go for a few days before they get filed away in your body, before your liver decides where you're going to hold that tension, and your amygdala decides, or it's more like a library that remembers where the liver stored it. These things physically happen in your body with tension. And maybe your diaphragm doesn't think to itself, oh, I'm going to hold on to this emotion for 3 days. But what it does do is its job, which is when there's tension, when there's a suppressed emotion, which is your body chemically communicating with itself. And you're not going to release these chemicals and this tension, then your body has to put it somewhere, like a garbage dump. And those garbage dumps get stagnant and sick. So I want you to feel around your diaphragm for something that feels centering. Now go up to your heart. Feel in your heart where you're at. The heart can have both the heart and the soul, according to some traditions. So maybe you feel for both. I'm very aware of my soul and where it's physically located. You feel it, right? Right, just to the right of my breastbone. Probably can't see that, but if you can, this is where I feel it, my soul. So you might feel both your heart and soul. Heart's a big antenna, sends and receives. You're 90% water. And water, they found, holds data in a cloud around it, some astronomical number. They've started using water in medical chips because it stores so much data in this field around it. So think about that. You carry a field too. If all water carries a field of data around it, enough to be used in medical chips, like in industry, then you do too. A field of information. And we access it through our heart and through our gut, through our heart a lot, and our head informs. And our gut's that physical, instinctual. Now go up to your throat. Feel for something blue. The throat chakra is blue. Feel for just something, maybe even something negative, maybe even something that catches. Maybe a frog in your throat, or a tickle, or congestion. That can be a blocked chakra. But feel for it. Feel for the difference. All right, next, your third eye, between your eyebrows, go back into your brain, between the back of your neck and the back of your skull is your pineal gland. Did you know the essential oils and any scent that you have activates right here? Activates right around the brow line. There's an area where all smells go to before they're shuttled to the amygdala. It's where they're sent. Super interesting. Essential oils speak directly to your amygdala and can soothe it, or it can make it stressed out. So literally, smelling lavender talks to your amygdala and tells it to calm down. Puts in the influence and the request to calm your amygdala down. This is why essential oils work, because they talk directly to our brain and they tell it what to do. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. So pineal gland, very important gland. Top of your head, violet color. Feel for that difference. Feel for something special, unique. Good. So now, this is what we're going to do for the next 30 minutes. We're going to listen to the brainwave meditation music. All right. And then we're going to, as we feel things come up from our day, as you relax, this is what happens when you start to go to sleep, right? Your mind starts to worry because you start to relax and then you can't sleep. So we're getting ourselves in a very relaxed state. The music does that. And your worries will come up, and your thoughts will come up, and your concerns of the day, and the stuff that you've shuffled away, and the things that were triggered. You want them to come up, and come up in whatever order that they come up in. And when they come up, you need to do something. When an emotion comes up, you need to regulate it again. Because when you're feeling emotional like that, you're usually dysregulated. Your brain's like that lightning storm. You're out of harmony. And when you do something to regulate it, it brings it back into harmony. And in doing so, it releases, it gets off the stress chemicals in your brain, which have been blocking your memories, which have been blocking your life. You've been focused and obsessed with just a few things, and you can't remember most of your life most of the time. It's not integrated. When you regulate your brain, it's like you reclaim a part of it, literally, physically, because the stress chemicals, which were acting as a wall, are now in your bloodstream and going to be peed out or cried out or breathed out, and they'll be off of you for good. So, if you're not familiar with the havening and the PAT point, and the thing where you point and turn around a couple times, just sit with it. And when you have something that worries you, regulate by taking a breath in that's half as long as the breath you breathe out. So if you breathe in to the count of 2, breathe out to the count of 4. If nothing else, that will help you start to regulate. And if nothing else, just listening to the music, you will regulate. But when you don't wait, when you take care of it immediately, and don't wait for the music to do it for you, you clean up a lot more. It goes faster. You're transforming into the person that isn't stressed out, that isn't crazy, that doesn't feel divided, that isn't constantly hijacked, that doesn't feel like they're behind the 8 ball all the time, that's dealing with all the normal human existence. You actually rise above that. You rise above the normal human existence. So the faster we can heal these things, the faster we can get the stress off of our brain and integrate it and get our nervous system regulated and regulated and regulated every time it goes off balance, the faster you will heal. So let yourself obsess and worry and think as much as you feel comfortable doing, and regulate, regulate, regulate. If it's something big and you don't have the tools for it now, don't go deeply into it. Work on smaller things. But if you've been doing this for a while, you can work on those big things. So if you know what to do, you know, maybe you do EFT, maybe you chant, maybe you do affirmations, maybe you do yoga, maybe you do something. But whatever you do, bring yourself back to balance. So for the next half hour, sit, be, fall asleep, it's okay. You're going to regulate anyways with the music. And let yourself bring up the things that cause you distress. And regulate, regulate, regulate. Don't tolerate going into the story. Don't obsess. Don't worry. Don't overthink it. Just regulate. That's all you're going to do. Don't give into the story. This next half hour, let the story come up. Feel it. Be with it. Regulate it. Don't go into the story. Feel it come up. Feel it. Experience. Regulate. Don't go into the story. It's not worth your time. There's no reason to obsess. There's no reason to think it to death. There's no reason to pick it apart. Because when you're doing that, you're doing it with your frontal lobe, and it's cut off from your heart and your gut. You're not going to solve the problem. You're not going to understand it from that brain. You literally have to get harmonized and integrated in order to solve the problem. Where you're at now, you can't solve any problem. You have to be regulated to solve the problem. Okay? So let it come up. Don't go into the story. It's not worth your time. And regulate. All right, here we go. you're ready, we're going to go back to our chakras. I hope that was a cleansing for you of some sort. I hope you were able to take some worries and cares off of your mind and you got some deep insight. I hope you figured out something important to you. I hope you had some healings, and we're going to continue our healings. So back down to our root chakra. What we're going to do is, when we feel for it, for some people it might even be a numb spot, a spot that's suspiciously not awake, a spot that might feel cold or blocked, congested. That could be exactly where your chakra is. And we're cleaning it out. So feel intuitively for that spot. And we're going to go into a feeling of gratitude. I need you to find something you're grateful for while you're paying attention to your root chakra. Chemicals and signals and messages of gratitude send everything the body needs as far as healing. The highest healing sort of feeling our bodies can have, highest bodily response. And when we put our focus on where our chakra is, it sends that gratitude at the same time. It sends all that nourishment there. This is one way of clearing your chakra. Noticing it, being with it, regulated space, sending it gratitude. Interesting how that works, huh? If any emotion comes up, you know the drill, regulate. Because as much as we can have coming out of us, as much as we can let go of, the better, in my mind. But don't go too far. You'll know your limits. Don't push yourself. These can be some deep physical reactions you have of sobbing and sweating and digestive upsets or issues. We have changes in our body when we allow ourselves to regulate. Big changes. So you just let yourself be with whatever it is. This might be just perfect for you. Just when you needed it. All right, your hara, your core, your center, your belly button, go there, please. Pay attention to that. And stay with the same memory of gratitude. Or a different memory of gratitude. It really doesn't matter. Choose a gratitude you like. Send it to your belly button. If you don't know words of gratitude, you can just be thank you. So whatever you're feeling grateful for. Because you don't have to feel grateful for your belly button. Although you could. It is quite magical and mystical. It's the idea of feeling grateful while also feeling your belly button. So you get to feel grateful with any old feeling, any old memory you like. Pick something that makes you feel good and pay attention to that second chakra. Go up to your heart. Feel around for that a little bit. Poke around. Feel your heart. Do you feel your soul? Is it there? Do you notice it? Do you hear it? Whispering? Calling your name. Isn't it beautiful? Listening to that beautiful calling of your name in your heart. And flip the switch on gratitude if you haven't already. Any old thing you want. Any old gratitude you want. And just feel, be tuned in, be aware of, focus. Doesn't have to be laser focus, but awareness of your heart chakra. Okay, now up. Up. You're in your throat. Blue, the color blue. Your voice, the thyroid. The butterfly thyroid. Let's get it healthy. Let's get it working again. Let's get it functioning again. Let's get that chakra cleared up. Get your body working the way it's supposed to work. Feel that gratitude. And if anything gets in the way of the gratitude, regulate. Gratitude. Just being gratitude. And feel your throat. notice your breathing changing? Do you notice your awareness reaching? Do you notice your head calming, prayerful, grateful? Time to move to our third eye. Gratitude, whatever it could be. Feel your third eye. Let yourself be in love. Are you still in gratitude? Okay, are you ready? To the top of your head. Feel for it. Feel for it. Find the edges. And be in this state of gratitude. Whatever trips your trigger, kitten, newly fallen leaf off of a tree, someone opening a door, that you're alive, some specific memory of someone giving you love when you needed it most, someone giving you a helping hand when you needed it most, when things turned out okay for you, when you prayed to God, please save me from myself. And you were saved. Do you remember those times? Remember those times? Those perfect days of sunshine and love that were there. Time you were saved from yourself. Gratitude. Be with gratitude in your seventh chakra. The color violet, connecting to the angels in the heavens above. Relax, just relax into it. Feel how wonderful it is. To be awake and alive. And if you feel any blocks, any resistance, any hesitation, just regulate it. We've spoken about this. Just do something to clear it away. No need to ruminate. No need to figure it out because you can't. You should know by now you can't figure it out in this brainwave state. You must be regulated. And then the solutions appear. And now picture your whole, everything around your body, because you're 90% water. Water has a field to it where it stores information. That's why they use it in those medical chips now, because they store so much, thousands and thousands and thousands of times of information than the water itself. And you're 90% water. So you need to send love to the field. The feeling of gratitude is a vibration that comes off of you. Chemicals and a vibration, a certain resonance. It's like a tone, like a key of A, resonance to it. So send gratitude into that field. Simple as that. Be in gratitude while you feel the field around you. Good. Continue one more minute. Be in love. Gratitude is a higher form of love. Love plus awareness. It's true love. Okay. Pause. Stop share. I hope you healed yourself tonight, because it's really important that we do this, because the world is divided into two kinds of people. People who are regulated in their brain and their system, and people who are dysregulated in their brain and their system. And when people are regulated, the dysregulated people entrain to them. The regulated brains, minds, always win, because it's a stronger vibration, because it's a community, it's a force. It's a very strong wave, and the dysregulated will always regulate. So I need you regulated so that we can become this net of humans around the world who are holding the world safe, being the regulated ones in order to entrain the people underneath us to regulate, so that we can have the peaceful world that we're looking to have. It's a very physical sort of experience to go from dysregulation to regulation. So I need you here in this space as much as possible. So clear. Keep clearing, keep regulating. I love you. Have a good night. And I'll see you later. Maybe my live stream tomorrow morning, okay?